A full tour of the new Mercedes GLE, both as SUV and Coupé. A significant update for this very generation right here. And on Autogefühl, you always get information or details you don't get anywhere else, I can promise. With Thomas and Autogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go with the new updated front. You can see it right here. Larger grille, and then these, you can say tiny because they are also large Mercedes stars right here. Then the even larger star in the middle. Everything screams out Mercedes star. This is also illuminated where it's allowed on the markets. But what is always allowed is here, this outline of the grille. That even works in the EU markets. So yeah, you can maybe see it in the sunlight here a little bit. Let's take it that way. Then you can see, at first sight, I thought, wait a minute, what is this? It is more, yeah, it looks like a gap, but it's not a gap. Like the hood is properly closed. It just looks like that because it now has this black outline around. And then you have a sharper contrast right there. But Mercedes says that this is even functional for the cooling of the engine even more, even though you have that then here as well. This is also then here the AMG line. You can also see it in this lower part. Here with these accentuations, for example, new updated lower bumper as well. And the color is Côte d'Azur blue. I rather see silver, but they call it blue. Maybe like some nuances. Here, by the way, the lamps, you can already see, these have this star identity now. And this is also where the headlight lights appear, for example. You can optionally get the matrix LED, the digital light. And it's always in this horizontal scheme. In the GLS, the bigger brother, it will be, like vertically above that. And then here the length is, as usual for the GLE, 4 meters 92, 194 inches. Updated designs for the wheels up to 22 inch. This then here 21 inch. You could otherwise start with 20, and for the very entry level version, which is available for example, North America, you can also get 19-inch wheels. Then we have the wheel arches in the vehicle color. So yeah, I actually like the color, even though I would rather call it silver. Largest update here then for the rear, because this one gets the GLC EQ look with this large black panel here, which connects the new tail lamps. And these tail lamps have also like this star design. Maybe you can see it better here on this side because this is in the shadow here a little bit. So this, once again, they try to put a star everywhere where it's possible. Honestly, I gotta say, I'm not the biggest fan, told you that with the GLC EQ, of this large black panel. It can collect scratches, it can collect fingerprints, and I think it just looks a little bit misplaced. What do you think about that? Lower bumper then with Autogefühl fake exhaust police, because these are clearly fake exhaust tips. Yeah, these haven't been gone with the facelift right here. Very interesting, right? Is always all-wheel drive, by the way, and we'll soon also take a look at the engines. The important technology here as for suspension is you get a base suspension and then optional the Airmatic air suspension. And this one all gets an update. It can also collect cloud data, so that when another car from Mercedes drove some road and there's like a pothole or something, then you gather this information and then the next air suspension can actually prepare for that. Very interesting, right? Now let's take a look under the hood, because they have, let's say, reduced the engine choices a little bit, but still a lot. And the most important message is you only get a base 2-liter 4-cylinder in the North American market. This is like the entry-level version. This one still gets all-wheel drive. Everything else is then 3-liter 6-cylinder at least. This one here is the 450e. So you get this one as the pure 3-liter 6-cylinder. This is the one choice. You also see our inserts for that, for the correct horsepower figures. Based on that, there's also the plug-in hybrid. The plug-in hybrids now not, before you had diesel and petrol plug-in hybrid. And also the petrol plug-in hybrids used to be based on the 2-liter 4-cylinder. Now always 3-liter 6-cylinder petrol worldwide for the plug-in hybrid models as well. And then you also have 2 different ones of these. Then you also get the 4-liter V8 still. That is still available also for the GLE. And you also have the AMG versions. which are either available as the 53 without plug-in hybrid or the 53 as the plug-in hybrid. And the top-end model, the 63, we will soon have a separate video episode on this one then. And the all-wheel drive is always somewhat rear-wheel biased and also a little bit flexible than in the distribution. And not to forget, of course, the diesel side, also 3-liter 6-liter diesels in 2 different horsepower specs. And I have promised you some secret details. First of all the engines under the hood, they are now all getting the MHEV system, even if some didn't have that before. And also NVH improvements, noise, vibration, harshness. So the engine bay is better covered, to the cabin. But it's not only that. GLS and GLE will also get additional foam, even like from the raw chassis, to make the silent even more silent. It was already good before the NVH, but now then even better with the facelift. And if I want to give you a secret tip, if you watch this video here and consider buying a GLE at the day of the video, wait a little bit, because the GLS directly starts with this new extra foam and the GLE a little bit later. So if you order a GLE, I would maybe wait a little bit with this new facelift and then also ask your dealer, hey, is this already a batch which gets this new foam? If you watch this video maybe 1 year later or something, it should already be in it. That won't be a problem, but just like for the, let's say, early adopters. And now as the comparison here, remember that this is here the chrome outline, so without the night package. And now we go to the night package with the Coupé and
ooh,
surprise, look at that. So Leah actually has the perfect
and my
clothing
outfit is,
fit.
I think, fit.
That's a great match, right? Leah with the Coupé. And I think also Leah would actually pick exactly this combination with the black wheels and stuff.
Yes.
Night package.
It looks stunning. What do you think?
So here then you have
Which one would you pick?
dark chrome outline. Then you can also see a little bit here from this illuminated front grille. And you can also see the black mirror caps.
Yes. Everything in black.
And 22-inch wheels. So
and then in the rear, no black thing here. Yep.
So this then kept like the pre-facelift actually, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So it looks cleaner somehow, and we don't need the black panel, do we?
No.
And also the Coupé here is actually 6 centimeters shorter in the wheelbase. Not sure if you actually see that, but
maybe a little bit, yeah.
maybe a little bit, I know. But Leah can drive a little bit sportier than with the Coupé. So I see it coming. Leah is team Coupé and also the
Yes.
night
Maybe
package.
we need to switch.
Yeah, I mean, there will be news upcoming in the interior, which will be also very interesting. But yeah, definitely the best fit here today.
Very nice, yeah.
Here, this is an AMG version we can show you already here today. This is the AMG 53 from the GLE lineup, available as the mild hybrid engine with 4.7 seconds in the acceleration figure, or here the plug-in hybrid with 4.5 seconds in the acceleration figure. So pretty powerful already. And I can tell you, we'll soon make a sound check, and that one sounds quite interesting. So, I mean, considering that the emissions should be lower, blah, 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 it has still some exhaust power. And then here in the front, vertical fins. And you have the grille in the same outline, also with illumination outside around. In this case, without the night package. You could also apply one if you like, but here it would be standard also in this chrome scheme. This is dark petrol, this color right here, a unique color. They have put 22-inch wheels on that one. So also massive styling here. Love the design, definitely. And on the rear you can see, since we had the other SUV, the GLE, in this Côte d'Azur blue, but which is silver color, it kind of made it to transition into this chrome deco element. And here now it becomes even more obvious that they do have a bright chrome accentuation right here if you don't go for the night package. And once again also the black panel right there. So I think it's a little bit too much where you have body color, chrome bar, and then this black bar. Or what do you think about this? Unique fake exhaust tips for the AMG 53 version. Round beauty tips on the outer end, and then the real exhaust is on the inside. But can the sound actually save this little bit of criticism for the rear design? Because yeah, I can tell you, just listen to that. And that counts for all GLE plug-in hybrids. Here, 11 kilowatt AC charging, and you can also get this 60 kilowatt DC charging. That's of course also a cool thing for plug-in hybrid. The battery here is 25 kilowatt hours net, so you can realistically go some 80 kilometers, 40, 50 miles with that one, just on the electric, pure electric one. Top only EV speed is 140 kilometers an hour, but you can also use, like say, like a hybrid mode that you can use both and so on. Always depends on the driving mode. Now we test the quality. I love these side steps because you can always make some ridiculous stuff with that, you know, like make it a lowrider, yo. But gotta say that you don't have to do that manually. You can also get the GLE still optional if the market offers that, not available in all markets. The E-Active Body Control. These are all, the words are gone now, yeah. This is like this thing you put on top of the air suspension. And this then with the individual hydraulic control, and where the car can also, like, you know, go up and down, that you can get out of the sand when you do a desert trip, for example, and that the car could also lean into the corner. And they also said, by the way, that they worked on the whole suspension setup, no matter which suspension you go for, base, Airmatic, or the E-Active Body Control, that they have reworked the setup, and they say they have significantly updated the driving. So if you want to see us driving the vehicle, then leave us that in the comments that you want to see that. Door closing sound. The rear is cool. I think the front sounds a little bit thin, doesn't it? But the rear is cool, actually. Then inside of the door, everything is nicely covered here. Then you have matte wood atmosphere. That is pretty cool. I would also probably pick this decoy element. Optional Burmester sound system. That's a great sound, definitely. Seat heating, seat cooling, separate buttons. I like that. Also here, how you can move the seats, easily done. Also then the classic window lever control. Not covered at the inside here, but at least some rubber ground that things don't slide that much. Then you have the Mercedes entry badge, also illuminated, I think. AMG line then for the floor mats. Then you also have the AMG steering wheel with the 2 spokes. The non-AMG steering wheel would look a little bit different with 1 spoke each, and return of the rocker and roller. Soon more details to that. So we have still physical dials here in this vehicle. Then you have these seats here. In this case, this is an animal skin pattern, but you can get the same new beach brown color for Artico, the high grade of the red, and you can also get the Artico perforated with seat cooling. And then you also have different colors available, like this one here, a darker brown, a black, and a beige as well. For the AMG line, you get microfiber on the middle part and Artico on the outside. And there's also more animal-free choice even for the steering wheel. Now you can get the steering wheel in an Artico wrap, which looks same, also feels the same basically. And by the way, here optional, you can get the laminated glass, the acoustic glass, both front and also in the rear. It's a welcome option when you drive higher speeds quite often. And this one here, by the way, is also equipped with the optional soft close. Magic. And by the way, this is the so-called comfort seat. It already has like a strong bolster at the side. However, you can optionally get the sport seat package. This has even stronger side bolsters. We can see it in the Coupé, because in the Coupé, both the AMG line and the sport seat package is standard, but not on the SUV. Tell me guys, by the way, if you find this cockpit perspective better than the perspective from there. Looking forward to your comments. This is the new cockpit here of the GLE with the facelift. Counts for SUV and Coupé. 1, 2, 3. These are the screens. Big bezels in the middle though. Still call it super screen. 1 horizontal layout. Steering wheel. And we welcome back here the rocker and roller physical dials at the steering wheel. Shifting pedals. So really good to see them back. The lower part is still capacitive though. But it's really cool to have that. And also still a manual AC unit with a nice clicking sound. Like to have that. And here these new air vents. Also good clicking sound actually. And yeah, I find this looks like a monster mouth, like a something like that, right? Or what do you think? Different design for the round air vent than at the side. And every wood decor element is now open cell matte wood. I love that, actually looks really cool, feels nice. And also you can have the same decor in the lower part here in the middle console, so you have less black piano lacquer. That's quite fancy, right? Not sure if anyone would still use this lower touchpad here. Probably would use everything in the screen, right? And then you can slide this one open, have inductive charging pad, 2 USB-C charger as an alternative. Large cup holders, they might not hold all bottles tight, but you can actually cool or heat them. This is a specific function here to GLE and GLS, very cool to have that. The drive mode selector is right here, also easy to reach. You can also pump up the air suspension individually, it would also be possible. Here, driving mode selection in the screen, soon more details to that screen as well. And then you have the middle console with these grab handles as well, and split opening with more space underneath. Yeah, you can also move this one here and this one, USB-C charging then also underneath. So I think the quality upgrades are really nice. At the same time, it's still functional. You have enough physical dials, so that's what I really fancy. And I also like here this top lighting here, which has this very nice, subtle ambient lighting integration. And you can see you can also pick different decor elements as the background of the screen, so you can also make it fitting to the rest of the interior. Driver POV, yeah, these are still capacitive, but the top ones gladly not. Then the instruments also with this special design. By the way, these here on the top, you don't see them on like with your own eyes, just on camera. And I like this analog digital design. You can also go for different designs here, of course. Switch the views, what you want to have in the middle. You can have the map view in the middle, for example. You can have completely different view like this assistant system view, full map view, and so on. But I would prefer this, and then you can also adjust the color. Then you have here this big head-up display. It's the box, yeah, how the head-up display really looks. You can hardly see on camera. And then the main infotainment unit, this is the main screen, and it's actually quite responsive and more crisper in the whole view. And what's also a big difference is now the GPS here. This is all Google Maps based. Even though it looks like Mercedes interface, there's now Google Maps behind it. And of course, you can also use the normal like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto interface for your smartphone. And sound experience for the Burmester sound system, it's really great. And you can now also pick, for example, an intense mode here. This is cool for electronic music, for example. And then you also have a passenger screen. You can have it like this, or then also control the same things you can do in the middle part if you like to do that. Now to the rear seats, covered here on the top, and also beautiful matte wood decor element at the rear. Separate button also for the seat heating. And here we have the electric seats, which you can move forward then or backward, and also change the inclination here, for example. And yeah, you don't have to go for that one. This will be a separate option. Well, this GLE Coupé, I think, pumping up the air suspension or something like that. Yeah, interesting. I'm not sure if you heard that sound there. And then ISOFIX is on the outside each. This also, let's say, like very well covered here, this ISOFIX connection. Then folding down with adaptive cup holders is also nicely done. And we have USB-C chargers in the middle part, and also a separate climate unit here for the rear. Yeah, need to put the ignition on to make that working, but you can rule right and left individually. And you can see here when the seat is all the way back, then you have enough legroom left. Mercedes says this is the comparable legroom to a short wheelbase S-Class. Interesting, right? And then here you have also enough headroom, no problem. I love these microfiber cushions here, so they're actually very comfortable. And as I said, you can also individually rule this one. You can even electronically control here the head restraint and move it a little bit higher, for example. So yeah, the only thing is that, oh yeah, good point from Leah. And she can even control it from that side. Here the electric shades. So this is also a nice luxury feature. And is this for both actually?
Yeah.
Or this is for...
I mean, no, I think there's...
for this one, yeah. so you can also control this top shade from the rear. That's a good luxury feature. I like that. So yeah, this makes life more exclusive, and you can see this large panoramic roof, which is standard, by the way. And just to note that you can actually also really open that one. Yeah, about these sliders, there we go. That's it. Nice. So you can also leave some fresh air in. Now let's check out the trunk or the boot, which is at, there's this black panel again, 630 liters, but you can move it up to 825 with the electric seats. I'm soon going to show you what I mean. There's this cover here. This has no rails on the side. Then this one also fits vertically. The width is actually quite good. This is 1 meters 10 or 43 inches already. So that's decent in the width. Then the normal length here is also about 1 meter or 40 inches. And the height here for the SUV, 80 centimeters, 32 inches. That's where the Coupé loses a little bit, especially in this area right here. And there's a difference. This is then the electric seat in the rear all the way back. And this would be then all the way forward. Plus I put the inclination a little bit, more upright, so you can have then a little bit more length and also in the top part. That's actually very cool. Underneath, in this case, nothing, because this is the plug-in hybrid model. If you have the non-plug-in hybrid, you could also lift this up for more space. And then with the electric seats here, I can push this here and also the other one. See here, it goes back first a little bit. So that's a clever mechanism, but then it needs more help again. One more push. There we go. It's a very comfortable feature, right? To do that all electric, and then it folds really flat. Good transition to the rear, and yeah, this is almost a full ruler. So here we are at 194 meters or 76 inches. Yeah, pretty decent. This one, of course, you could also remove. And as a comparison, the Coupé, which has even stronger side bolsters here, it's hard to see, but it's a little bit more, so to speak. Especially for the Coupé, since you cannot get the Artico seats here, I would go for the microfiber on the middle part, if available on your market, definitely. And then you can see it also gets the glass roof you can open. It's a little bit closer, definitely, with the headroom. I always wonder, am I in the lowest position with the seats? Of course, here the roofline is way lower, but it still fits with one A9 602, more space than in the SUV. Deco element, also another choice here. This is here the carbon fiber deco element. That also looks really fancy, and they can also have the same deco element here and here. That would be very important to me, to have like the harmonious interior decor element experience. Yeah, that's about car nerds, right? Also nice how the ambient lighting is, by the way, here integrated in this grab handle right there. What do you think about that? Rear seats are different with the Coupé. First of all, has shorter wheelbase and also translates into less legroom in the rear, clearly less legroom in the rear. And then that they can still achieve like a headroom here. I can still fit here with one A9 602, but the rear bench falls a little bit backward. To me, it's not that comfortable, so the SUV definitely has a better rear seating experience. And the Coupé trunk, that you get the sense of difference here, it's way flatter in this area. It has a different cover. You can you fold this up like this. The total height is a little bit less here in the top part, but then here it's lower here, and this is the main difference right there. Width is the same, length is the same, then here like the basic length, but this is like where you're most limited in this area. So what would be your pick today? Would you be Team Leah, dark, black, everything from the situations, and rather the Coupé? Or rather Team Thomas with the more classic SUV style, chrome and so on? Tell me in the comments. Both is available, of course. Pricing, I mean, so far it starts around 85,000 euros, and of course it won't be cheaper. It will be rather a little bit more expensive. So especially if you see the extra sticker to the GLC, there is of course the question like, what does this one deliver even more? Physical climate units. This is, for example, something. Air suspension is also available in the GLC. This one here, of course, adds some kind, of like, it's a little bit larger, a little bit more luxurious and so on. But of course, you can still always argue if you could still also go for a little bit cheaper GLC, because the pricing here is definitely high for all of them. Styling-wise, I think I'm quite happy with the front. Only the SUV in the rear with this large black panel I'm not the biggest fan of. Also good changes on the interior. Yes, you have on the one hand a screen overload, but you still have physical dials and even now the return on the steering wheel, for example. And I also fancy that they offer more animal-free choices even for the steering wheel now on the interior. And the engine lineup is, I say, a little bit clearer now, and I think it's also a good thing for this size of the car than to rather focus on these 6 cylinders. What do you think? And now check out the competition like the X5, or if you rather fancy the little bit smaller GLC.